Okay, what's up, Bean Can? I'm sure you will, if you have clicked the video, you most likely read the title and the thumbnail. Uh, I'm gonna be explaining to the people watching this video why communism ain't even that bad. It's just low key grace for real. Um, so let's start off with the basics, and I would like to ask you to please keep an open mind in this video. So first of all, we need to go over what is communism. Uh, Communism is a government system or a political theory derived, and the Google definition is that it is a political theory derived from Karl Marx, advocating class war and leading a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs. And keep in mind, I might be wrong because I might have done stupid research. Um, but in a true communist society, there are no or very little class differences, and there's no private property except for stuff that you own, like your car, for example. And places like Walmart can fund people building Walmarts, but the company Walmart does not own that Walmart. Um, and people working can contribute to deciding like their pay and other stuff like that. Definition of capitalism is an economic and political system in which a country's trade industry are controlled by private owners for profit. Basically, if someone's working hard as a Walmart cashier for X hours, they get they get money which they can use to buy housing and food for themselves. Um, so naturally, these people are thinking, well, I'm getting money from people buying my products and people need my products to survive, they're going to buy it. Um, I can just make it more expensive, so I have more money. Um, Whereas in a communist society, that's not a problem because the Walmart can't own the Walmart, so they can't stay in control of that market. Um, it seems like communism is better than capitalism, right? But why are so many people opposed to capitalism or the communism? Fuck. Um, Cold War, the Cold War might be a big reason why people are opposed to communism. Cold War started in 1947 and ended in 1981. And it's probably because America and the USSR were arguing about which economic system was better after World War One or two, after World War Two. The war lasted 44 years, and this war was different. No troops, and there was no nothing except for nuclear bombs. The U.S. and the USSR were both trying to make better nukes than the other one, and the war ultimately ended because the USSR collapsed. But during those 44 years, a lot happened. In America, there was a lot of propaganda against communists. Technically, the USSR was socialist. I'm just going to refer to them as communists because both concepts are related and very similar. And in people growing up in the 60s and 90s were commonly fed anti-communist propaganda. And then those people told their kids that communists are bad and shouldn't be one. And their kids told their kids that now everyone thinks that communism is evil. But it's not all the Cold War. There's some other factors, such as the rich and powerful wanting to stay rich and powerful. The super mega rich people lose all of their money and fame and social status um, in America or whatever country they come from, or if whatever country they came from switched to communism. And they want to keep that power, so they are doing everything they can to make people hate communists, including making communist countries switch to capitalism. They to make sure they keep their power. This is the same reason why leaders from capitalist countries don't want to switch to communism. They don't want to lose all their money and power. So, for an example, for an example, Cuba. Cuba got switched to communism, so it's not really an example of what I'm trying to say, but there are evidence of countries switching from capitalism to communism. Um, in Cuba. Um, but the reason why most capitalist countries don't want to switch to communism is that the big people in charge don't want to lose all their money and power. So communist societies are going to be very difficult and hard to start currently. But communism might be able to potentially save our race of species. Um, Capitalism encourages big companies to milk the earth dry of all of its natural resources to make it a barren rock of nothing. And if the world switched to communism, then we might be saving ourselves from extinction. So, in conclusion, chimpanzini bananini wawa.